Uhuru are yet to be remedied, and it isn't clear how this housing levy fund will be safeguarded and administered. All right, so she says that is what she will be, that is how she will be, rather this is the argument or the position she will take in her comments to the National Assembly on the Finance Bill 2023. So we need to start winding down now. What message do you want to leave us with, Wanjiku, as the Kenya, where is it?
Gender Budget.
Yes, Kenya Gender Budget Network.
Number one, I think it's time in this country that we took a gender budgeting approach. And that should start really at the budget policy level, where when the minister pronounces himself on the budget policy statement, one of the key things that we need to have on that statement is that budgets must be gendered. They must be gendered, and they must take a gender-responsive approach so that we are not just budgeting, but there is some structure. Remember when I started, I said the how is the most important aspect. And Daktari was just talking about it, that how are we going to implement these things? We have the housing scheme, and maybe I can retract and start with the Hustler Fund. We all know that when you pick a Hustler Fund loan, that there's some element of forced savings. Where are those funds? Olive, if I wanted to use those funds maybe as a security, can I access them? Can I be able to say that this is how much I have been borrowing from Hustler Fund, and this is how much I have saved, and can I access it even to capitate my business, you know? And that is the problem that we are facing. We have no structures. We've pronounced ourselves on things, but we have no structures for implementation. And so it leaves a very big lacuna for things like corruption. Because now the government will find itself with all this money, but the way in which it should be done, the how it should be done, by whom it should be done, is not clear. It's not defined. It's just that we are going to get this money. So the how must be tackled. And the government, you know, many people my age, and I'm sure I look very young, went to public schools. In our day, we went to government hospitals, and services were provided. But today, people are actually dying in their homes because they cannot afford healthcare. And that's tragic. And so for the government to again tell us, in addition to all the fundraisings and mchangas that we have to participate in, we are going to take 35% from your salary, and as Daktari is saying, we will leave you with only 48% to do everything else. I mean, I think that is radically unfair. It is inconsiderate, it is ill-timed, and it is wrong, morally wrong. What will happen is that we will now allow for a black market to thrive, because then I don't have to advertise my services, but I can tell Olive, to tell whoever, to tell the next person that I make nails, I bring in hair, I content create, you know. And with the internet as it is, I can actually become a pseudonym. I earn a lot of money, but you can never catch me, you know. And that is counterproductive for what the government is aiming to get at. It is aiming to collect taxes. I think they also need to have people who have not been in the system. They need to have a youthful council or group of people who can advise them, because I think they are going for measures that are just ordinary. They have not thought out of the box. For example, climate change is a really big thing today, and there is a lot of money around climate change. I have not seen any measures that the government is taking to take advantage of the funds that are available for climate change.
Well, to be fair, President William Ruto has taken that fight to the international community.
Yes. How much money has that brought back?
They're working on it.
You see? Structures. We go back to structures. So there's a lot of money for that. I mean, we would be looking at billions, if not trillions.
And that is what they're seeking to tap into.
Yes. But the structures, even when they tap into that, where are the structures?
Okay, when you say structures, what do you mean?
They will get that money. For example, he's done a lot of diplomatic work in terms of the climate change conversation. Yeah. But when that money comes, it will now maybe come to Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Energy, and then, because we are now having the conversation of taxing solar panels, for example, instead of allowing them and promoting them, because then it would take the pressure off the energy grid, take the pressure off the consumption of power.
Have
and
we taxed solar panels? I'll need to do some research.
We are having that conversation.
Yeah,
yes,
I'll need to do some research.
We are veering towards that conversation. There was a time when Kenya Power was not very amused that organizations were going into solar panels. And institutions as big as Oserian are completely off the grid, generating power enough to even sell back to the grid. Are we taking advantage of those opportunities? Are we providing that people can actually sell back power to the grid to take off pressure, you know?
All right.
And we have a whole lot of solar power. You know, I mean, if countries like Germany are surviving on solar power, so can we.
And from what I've heard, that is the plan.
Yes.
Right? So, but Dr.